Mondo, kill the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans get locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died. Y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew. You a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum. A gun that would die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth. I had to make it clear how Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947. Your menorah got 9 sticks. It's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world. Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs, bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jew-ish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, this the Feast of Purim. U.P.K undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard and they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil who is, I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, that's what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this is an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ. They the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas. They're a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth. Niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4. I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. Absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them, but they are Jews. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my houses. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom be busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slump. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in his dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through in the day of our king's reign. I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guest just had terrible internet issues? They were blurry, they were freezing, you could almost hardly hear them. Well, with local recordings from StreamYard, you'll be able to download a perfect quality video from your guest after the show. This means that no matter what you or your guest's internet connection is like, you'll be able to download the perfect high quality recording every single time. You can also download both a separate audio and a separate video file for the hosts and guests. Now with StreamYard, you can have freeze-free studio quality recordings on any connection, anywhere in the world. You can choose to download them, stream them later, or edit and repurpose them. It's your turn to test out local recordings today, now available on StreamYard.
Oh.
Babylon is falling and we praying for it every day. Change up the game, I had to find myself a better way. People out here struggling cause they can't seem to find a way. Kids don't go outside no more cause it ain't even safe to play. People out here waking up but they don't know which way to turn. Open up them holy scriptures, break them down so they can learn. Devils out here feel like Usher, I suggest you let them burn. If they get to asking question, you just tell them it's our turn. Move like Christ, live like Christ, I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight. Keep the law, my guiding light. Move like Christ, live like Christ, I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight. Keep the law, my guiding light. 144, 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Get in line. 144. 144. 144. 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Get in line. Hey. Wrote the verse until begin to hit the page. I'm turning to the east whenever I start to pray. This for my soldier, my comrades, no comment, just real men that walking right in the spirit. When the Lord speak, they hear it. This real life when we bring it, this real truth that we slang it. We seen the pictures they painted, our history they change it, and everything been tainted. And I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of it. So get rid of it, and I'm sick of it, Move like Christ, live like Christ. I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight. Keep the law, my guiding light. Move like Christ, live like Christ. I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight. Keep the law, my guiding light. 144. 144. 144. 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Get in line. 144. 144. 144. 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Get in line.
I am here to tell you today that your feelings are valid. Your trauma is valid. Your hurt is your hurt. I discovered BetterHelp 2 years ago and my life changed. You wear these shoes. You know where it hurts. No one can tell you how your shoes hurt.
Clap it up, clap it up. Shalom, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah, my brothers, Yahweh Shamar, Alatah B'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, to all my sisters, priests and officers of 1,000, Bon Kayal, coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. This is the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. We coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the operational direction and sound guidance of Commanding General YAHANNA, all right? And here in the I.S.U.P.K, that's the acronym that we use to describe the name of our school, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. In the I.S.U.P.K, we teach daily life living to the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because the Christian church has failed you. The Christian church has failed us as a whole, as a family, as a nation of people. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are their own, we are our own separate family. We are blood related, okay? According to what the Bible says. Not what the so-called white man says, what the Bible says. All right. And what we do in the I.S.U.P.K is we teach so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians how to dress, how to talk, how to walk, how to bathe. You know, we teach social etiquette in this school. You know, we teach grooming in this school. You know, when it comes down to your dietary habits, the things that you eat, you know, the things that you eat, there's a menu in the Bible, man. Straight up menu that'll let you know what's lawful and what is unlawful for you to ingest as a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. If you ain't so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Eat whatever the hell you want to eat. Nah, I'm too wild, the water. Eat whatever the hell you want to eat. The Lord didn't curse you for you know, eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster the way he cursed so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know, and that's what we try to wake our people up to, the truth of who they are in the sight of God. All right. We got to understand that we are the only royalty that's ever graced planet Earth. All right. There's a very, very important position that we play on planet Earth. We are the oracles of the Most High. What I mean by that is, you know, the priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K. You know, we are the oracles. We speak for the Most High Power. We speak in the same spirit that the prophets before us spoke. When you think about Isaiah, when you think about Samuel, you know, you think about Daniel and Ezekiel, you know, those prophets of old are still around to this day, man. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. And you're looking at the prophets today. Because T.D. Jakes, he ain't no prophet of the Lord. Creflo Dollar is not a prophet of the Lord. John Gray, he's not a prophet of the Lord, man. You know, these are greedy dogs, these men that we speak of. You know, all they're worried about is filling their coffers and doing God knows what with other men and children, taking indecent liberties with children. All right. And here we live by a standard, and that standard is the laws, statutes, and commandments. That is the standard. We teach men to follow that standard. That's why, you know, one of our old slogans, you know, in the I.S.U.P.K, we build men. We truly do. The measure of a man is, in my opinion, based upon his obedience to keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. It takes a real man to keep God's laws. You could be an absolute coward and do whatever the hell you want to do with your life. But it takes real reserve to seek the Lord's heart, man. It takes real reserve. It takes real discipline. It takes real strength to keep over 613 laws in the Bible. It takes discipline to not eat whatever the hell you want to eat, or to not put your rod in whatever the hell you want to put your rod in, man. Pause. You know, and that's what we're doing here. So we are very unusual. We are intensely abnormal. We're very peculiar. This is why we look so strange to you if you're stuck in a Christian church or in the Muslim mosque, you know. But hey, I'm preaching to the choir, because usually, more often than not, it's our people that are watching these classes. I'm sure we got the usual suspects, you know, in attendance. I see. Shout out to Sister Ira Ba, you know what I'm saying, and Brother Terry Turner. Oh, okay, that's the wolf right there, Most High in Christ, and then young man Reggie, you know, young man James Futrell. Shout out to y'all, man. You know, give yourselves a hand for being in the class tonight. All right. So tonight, with respect to what's happening in the earth, you know, what's transpiring in the earth today? For about, 2 weeks now, people have been talking about, as far as politics are concerned, what's been going on? What's been happening in the earth? Give them a second to respond online. You know, if you're just joining in, man, we the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. We're coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Tonight is our Monday night biblical history class. And we're just going to be going into a few things. Primarily, we're going to be talking about the history of America's political systems, the two-party system that America is on right now. We're going to talk about the origins of the Democratic Party, the origins of the Republican Party, and how the Whig Party failed. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why it's a sin if you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian for you to vote. Okay, we're going to go into the spirit of that. All right. So the title of this class is Same Dumb Bird. All right. Democrat or Republican, voting is a sin. And I want to start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verses 9. The book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 9. If you can, brother.
This book is Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me.
Damn right. That brother said in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah was a very, very strong prophet of the Lord, man. When Isaiah showed up on the scene, people knew he meant business, man. All right. But Isaiah said to remember the things of old. That's what we teach this class for every Monday. We're remembering, we're reflecting, we're pondering upon the things of old. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Sister Arabah said there's talks of a physical takeover if their presidential candidate doesn't win.
Damn right. I know my sister was in the class. Give her a hand. She right. Okay.
Reggie said voting.
Damn right.
Rumors of war.
Right. Voting. Rumors of war, but voting is what we're talking about today. And many of us don't understand that we're not supposed to vote, because in the Christian church, that's the first place where they teach you to vote, to cast your vote. That's where they put emphasis on voting, as if it's some level of importance or to a degree of brings a value to your life, to this human experience as a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. They say voting gives a voice to the voiceless, but in all actuality, it doesn't. It does the complete opposite. Voting is a sin. Voting is against our culture. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, all right, it's never been a part of our traditions. Okay, our government, we have a monarchy, man. And who is our king? YAHANNA is our king. Right. Okay, and we're gonna get into John 19 and 15 a little later on. But in Isaiah, the 46th chapter, it talks about remembering the things of old. We need to reflect upon our ancestors, man, and what made them special in the sight of the Lord. Right. Were our ancestors voting? Did our ancestors, put all their hopes and faith and dreams in the Democratic Party or this democratic system of voting? Did our ancestors put their faith in the republic for which it stands? No. You think about the covenants, the contracts that our ancestors made with the Most High Power, the contracts that the Most High Power made with us. He didn't make covenants with any other group of people on planet Earth but the Israelites, God's chosen people, man. Yasha Allah. Yes. All right. We have contracts with the Most High. The African can't say that. The so-called white man can't say that. The European, the Chinese man can't say that. The Korean can't say that. The Russian can't say that he has a contract with God. But you can if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man, woman, or child. Right. All right. And that contract can be found within this Bible, man. All right. This is our Constitution here. And within this Bible, you will find the context of how you're supposed to live, how you're supposed to carry yourself. All right. The things that you're supposed to do before it's all said and done, before you kick the damn bucket. All right. We talk about the covenants, the promises, how the world was created for our sakes, how we're supposed to be set above, on high, above all the other nations on earth, man. We are a royal priesthood is what the Bible calls us. All right. You think about our culture. Our culture is the law, statutes, and commandments. This is our paradigm to life. All right. We look weird to people in the world. People that have been in the Christian church their whole entire life. They see the fringes and they don't even It don't even click. Why do you have a fringe with a ribbon of blue on the border of your garment? What's that about? People that have claimed to read the Bible from cover to cover, but that goes completely over your head. All right. This is how I know you can't teach yourself these scriptures, man. You have to be taught this Bible. And the place where you're going to learn the Bible, the truth and the whole truth about the Bible is in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. All right. But we talk about the laws, you know, how a man's not supposed to adorn himself in a woman's garment and vice versa. How a man's supposed to have a beard on his face. He's not supposed to bald his head. You know, there's so many laws, man, that are overlooked. And I know they're overlooked primarily because we're here in America, where America teaches you to what? Pursue your happiness. Right. You do whatever the hell you feel like doing here in America. But God has laws, and God will hold you accountable for breaking his laws, especially if he's got you under contract. You know, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have been in breach of those contracts or those covenants for far too long. All right. So we talk about the curses. Because we are in breach of the covenants, we suffer the curses. The curses of what? Not having a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Okay? Those curses in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Us not even realizing or recognizing who the enemy is, who our enemies are. The fact that we went into slavery via cargo slave ship over the course of millennia, man. Thousands of years. Salakia, hundreds of years, you know. We've been in bondage, man. You know, and it's a ridiculous thing because you would think it wouldn't take a person over 400 years to figure this out. It wouldn't take you that long to figure out what's working and what ain't working for you. You know, you see Big Mama get her legs chopped off because she's been eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster her whole entire life. And then when we tell you that, oh, you know, you shouldn't eat it, you go to your doctor tells you not to do it, you'll take heed to what the doctor says. But when a prophet with gold teeth, a beard and braids in his head tells you, according to what the Bible says in the book of Leviticus, that you're not supposed to eat, all through and through the Bible, it talks about you not putting swine in your mouth. You disregard it. And so we get cursed because of it. And our curses come in the form of hypertension, heart disease. Right. You having to take metoprolol, and you in your 20s, you know, diabetes, man, gout. I seen a video of Wendy Williams' feet she has edema in her lower extremities, man. Feet swole up. Oh, man, what's going on with you, brother? Good to see you, brother. They're right.
Oh, hey, I got you.
Yeah. I'll take care of that with you, man.
Drop the dog. I haven't dropped it off to you. Oh, the receipt. Oh,
yeah.
All right, now.
This Most High in Christ. Shout out to your man Jermaine, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, you know, I saw a video on social media of Wendy Williams, and she is describing, I guess during her interview, I didn't see the video, some documentary about her life. She's describing how she has edema in her feet, specifically, like her lower extremities, her feet and her ankles, beneath her shin. It's all swole up. I mean, she looked like she got elephant feet, man. You know, and it's a disgusting, sad thing because that could have been totally avoided, you know. But this is a person that made a living off of spilling tea, off of, you know, gossiping, you know. And it's like, you think that people feel any type of compassion toward what you're going through? Well, you had no regard for what anybody else has gone through in their life. You know, these celebrities going through whatever the hell they go through in Hollywood, she's right there to talk about it. And she had no regard for their feelings or for their family's feelings or for their significant others or their children. She had no regard for that. She gave a damn, just like the spirit of the oppressor, you know? And now the Lord has cursed her with what? Edema in her lower extremities, and she also has frontotemporal dementia, if I'm not mistaken, that's a curse straight from on high. You know, maybe if Wendy would have taken heed to the priests and prophets, man, that she mocked. Maybe if she would have taken heed, maybe if she, you know, would have came across in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, you know, those curses. I'm sure people warned her. You think about the lies that she destroyed, man. The sisters and brothers that dealt with depression just because of some crap that she spewed out of her mouth, man. You know, but we ain't here to bash Wendy Williams, man. You know, she's our people. I pray the Lord's with her anyhow. But those curses, that's a part of who we are. Those curses actually bind us together as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians as far as shared experience, as far as shared trauma. Okay. We think about reflecting or remembering our kingdom. You see what's happening over in Israel right now. You know, if Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians were over there in Israel, it wouldn't be in constant conflict. That land wouldn't be in constant conflict under Yahushua Mashiach, man. Go ahead, brother.
Got some comments. Sister Arba, back to the comment you mentioned earlier about the voting. She said an
Coup
interesting
d'etat.
possibility of a coup d'etat.
Right.
Also, which looks like it's going to be a possibility. Something crazy happening.
So she talking about this coup d'etat with respect to Donald Trump,
right?
Not being able to clinch the nomination, but he's the front runner, you know. And the Supreme Court basically just overturned. I think it's in Colorado. You know, they basically tried to get him on a technicality under the Biden administration, saying that he, because he led some insurrection, you know, it's some old, outdated clause to say that he was ineligible to run.
Right.
Okay. But the Supreme Court of the United States overturned that because they want him. He's going back into office, you know. So we're not worried about a coup d'etat, sister.
Also, Sister Nara said about Whitney Williams, says alcohol-induced dementia, and she's very bad off.
Good night.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
You can't be an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? All things in moderation.
Yeah.
You know, but she's absolutely right.
Yeah.
What the brother say? What Trooper Kodar say?
Oh, he was just checking in.
Oh, Most High in Christ.
But that's crazy because if that was any other candidate, you know, they scrub Black people's, you know, history. They go to your childhood friends, elementary school. How many times you got suspended for school? Did you ever inhale weed? All this nonsense, you know, Black candidates get just off the chopping block early. Donald Trump damn near led an insurrection. He's racist. He makes these open comments about all kind of disgusting things.
Mail order bride.
Yeah, mail order bride. You know, grab her by the box. You know what else? All kind of nonsense, right? And the fact that he can do all that still, come on, man, what are we doing here?
Yeah, yeah. It's laughable, you know. But when that SOB 45 came into office, you know, it was around the time I was like coming into the truth, you know. And I just find it very, very interesting that, you know, our people don't recognize that he gained the popular vote in America. Right. I mean, he gained the presidency at one point in time, and he's going to get it again. All right. So for you to have so much love and your allegiance to America is sad. I mean, are we gluttons for punishment? We have to be absolutely insane to believe that anything is changing with respect to America. Right. You know, we do the same thing over and over. Go down to the polls. Listen to your dumb pastor who promotes some Democratic politician, you know, on the local level, on the state level. Even, you know, you got Joe Biden coming down to North Carolina. Yeah, he went to Cookout, you know, to try to pander for the Black vote. Right. You know, because Black people love chicken, you know, and I don't know, not one Negro that don't like Cookout. Right. If you come down to fast food, I would prefer Cookout over McDonald's, Burger King, whatever, you know. But he had chicken strip trays, you know, to try to mobilize the Black vote here in North Carolina, which is that's a very disgusting thing, you know. We're gonna get into that. Matter of fact, if you can, I want you to pull dog whistle. Politics. Yeah, well, no, just a dog whistle term or phrase, you know.
It's okay. We have I got you.
Because it's beyond the language,
Right.
you know.
Dog whistle. It says go to Merriam-Webster's.
Yeah.
Dog whistle meaning. Well, talks about the politics. You want me to read
You can
that?
go into politics. Yeah, that's the one I want.
Okay.
Because a lot of politicians, you know, in order for them to say these racist, prejudiced things, they can't just outright say that they hate Negroes, they hate Latinos, they hate Native Americans. They just can't say that.
Right.
So they have to find another way, you know, and they do it through subtlety. This is the reason why we call the so-called white man the devil the Bible speaks of.
Yes.
All right. This is what the Bible calls him, the most subtle beast of the field. He uses his subtlety like Wile E. Coyote. You know what I'm saying? He uses his subtlety to beguile and to trick. You know, he moves like a snake, literally. You know, so this whole dog whistle term or phrase, if you can, brother.
That's the dog whistle. Talks about the frequency and pitch of animals. It says, yet there is another dog whistle we've been hearing about lately, a coded message communicated through words or phrases commonly understood by a particular group of people, but not by others.
Right. So if you hear Donald Trump, he said, yeah, stand by and stand back, or stand back and stand by. You know, that's light. You know, because he's talking to the right wingers that are willing to jump out the window for him. You know what I'm saying? When you think about a dog whistle phrase, it would be what he called when he went down to what was it, Puerto Rico?
Oh yeah.
And he called it excuse my French, a shithole country.
Right.
You know, that's dog whistle language there. You know, he's speaking in a very derogatory manner or tone about the country, but not so much the country, because they'll go vacation to Puerto Rico. He ain't talking about the land. He's talking about the people that are dwelling on that land. All right.
That's one. Some examples of dog whistle.
Yeah.
It says, if you want to cast him as just a nativist, his slogan, "Make America Great Again," can be read as a dog whistle to some whiter and more Anglo-Saxon past.
How did I overlook that? To make America great again. I ask, when was America ever great? Especially for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You think about the racist history of America when it comes down to dealing with us as marginalized, as a marginalized group of people, you know, and that's a very broad paintbrush to paint us in, because not everybody went on the Trail of Tears. There was the Native Indian, specific group of people, all right? And then they pushed the Native Indians off the land onto the reservation, and they brought the so-called Negro in to do what? To build up the treasure cities, to build the White House, to build just about every mayoral dwelling in the South. You know, when you think about agriculture, that term agriculture usually, especially when you're speaking of, you know, the 16th, 17th, well, the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries, you know, it talks about slavery. If they're talking about agriculture, it coincides with slavery, because who was doing the agriculture? We were the ones that were, you know, toiling the fields, man, for the most subtle beast of the field. All right. But yeah, make America great again, you know, is another one of those dog whistle phrases, you know, that gets the so-called white man charged up. If you hear a dog, if you blow a dog whistle, ain't no other animal going to respond to you blowing that whistle except for what? Except for a dog. Right. All right. How fitting, you know? All right, let's see.
I got some comments.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brother James Futrell, he says, seems like our people are happy being used. And on the bottom, I have never seen so many people sleep woke. I have never seen so many sleep woke people in my life. Right. Yeah. Sleepers act like they woke. He right about that. Trooper Kadar says, Even though Obama was an African, he had to be perfect because of the color of his skin. But the oppressor can be the most vile beast on earth and get into power.
Oh yeah. See, I know we hopping all around right now. We're gonna get into that when it comes down to Obama, especially. You know, they tried to paint him as being, you know, perfect. And black people fell in love with Obama. He's a charismatic speaker. The nigga went to Harvard and Columbia. You know, it's like, how could you not love Obama? He could play. He liked to play basketball. He sing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He married a black woman. You know, yeah, which is a little rhythm. You know, so black people romanticize this idea of Obama, but the whole entire time, Obama, he just looked the part of being a so-called Negro. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Obama is a Hamite. His father is from Kenya. His mother is a devil. Okay, so Obama on both sides, he's not your people. He's not our people. You know, and I'm sad to say that when I was in the world and I didn't know any better, I voted for Obama twice. You know, looking to Obama to save us from the hell that we're living in, because hell is a condition. Okay, you waiting to die to go to hell. We're living in hells, and as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right. I wanted to get into that, but let's finish that verse off. Isaiah 46 and 9. Yeah.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me. Verse 10, declare the end from the beginning.
Here, use this one, Salakia. That should work.
Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do my pleasure.
Damn right.
I will do all my pleasure.
That's right. That is right, man. You know, we're supposed to be remembering the former things, all right? But the Most High Power, he's declaring his authority or his power, his jurisdiction, his charge, all right? He's establishing his command through this statement in verse 10. You know, he's declaring the end from the beginning. You know, he's had a hand in it. The end of America versus the beginning of it. The ending of slavery versus the beginning of slavery. You know, you just think about anytime you go through a trial in your life, the Most High Power had that was all him. He decided when it was time for that you've had enough. You've proven your quality. Okay, you think about from ancient times the things that are not yet done. So from way back in antiquity up until the present through the future, you know, the Most High Power has a hand in all these things. And it's saying that what? That are not, my counsel.
My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
So when we talk about counsel, what is the Most High's counsel? When we think about what's happening right now with respect to politics, right? The Most High's counsel is his policy. All right. What is the Most High's policy? The law, statutes, and commandments. Right. You know, the fact that you can either be blessed or cursed. Those are his policies. The prophecies, man. The things that he allowed the prophets to go out and prophesy in his name. And we ain't talking about Martin Luther King and his damn dream. All right. Because Martin Luther King was neither a messenger nor a prophet. Okay. In my eyes, he wasn't. Martin Luther King was a traitor. He was a wicked, evil man that sold blacks and Hispanics up the river, man. All right. So the Most High Power is just expressing the power, his right to give orders and make decisions and enforce obedience solely above any other entity, any other deity, or any other God with a little g. Okay. The Most High Power, his name is Yahweh. He is the Don Dada, man. He is, you know, he is God. And there was none like him. There is no other God. He's the God that created the heavens and the earth and the universe, all the planets, you know. All right, where we at? Yeah, so we was on verse 10. It's just basically talking about the Most High, emphatically affirming that his counsel shall stand and he will do all his pleasure. He's going to do what he want to do. You think about those fires that's burning in Texas. Well, when those fires were burning in California, the Lord was allowing that to happen. You could get the Department of U.S. Forestry Service and any fire department. They had nothing. They had no answers for it. When those fires were burning in Hawaii, they had no answers for it. I remember watching one of the games in the Staples Center. It was smoke in the Staples Center, man. The Lakers couldn't even play because of the smoke in the Staples Center during the pandemic. The Most High Power, he's going to have his way, contrary to popular belief, contrary to what you say, what your mama say, what they think, what your pastor believes. The Most High Power is going to have his way, man. All right? He says, I will do all my pleasure. Whatever's pleasing to the Lord is what will be. Was that you? Or was it this door right here? Good. Yeah. Got me reaching over here. Anyhow. All right. Let's give me Book of John 8:32, man. The Book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And I know I got some articles pulled up. And we're just going to talk about, the things that most Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians don't really know about when it comes down to the government that we're serving under as homeborn slaves, man. We don't know anything about these politics, but you'll go hop your happy behind in a damn line and go vote just for a damn sticker. You vote straight ticket and you don't even know who or what is on that damn ballot. You just vote in one way. You see a Democratic candidate, you'll mobilize behind that because your church members is talking about, you going to vote for, Mitch Colvin for House. You better not take your dumb behind down there and vote. Save your vote for Christ, man. Where we at?
The Book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Man, Christ was expressing that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in this current time, in this current day, man, we're supposed to know the truth about who he is, the truth about what is expected of you, the truth about us being obedient to keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, the truth about voting. And these politicians, all of them are crooked, all of them are wicked, all of them are evil. They're all morally bad. They're unjust. They're not righteous. These are not righteous men that you're going to vote for. These aren't righteous women that you're going to vote for. You don't know these people, man. You don't know what their agendas are. They all have hidden agendas. And every time Black people go down to the polls to vote, what happens? We get Barack Obama in office. We get him in office, and what does he do for us? Not a damn thing. But I will tell you what happens when people like Obama get in office. He was in office from 2009 to 2017. Served 2 terms, right? I'll tell you what did happen. Jurisdictions like, local municipalities, as far as the police departments in all the treasure cities of America, they took indecent liberties with God's chosen people, man. And we had mass unalivings. It was at one point in time where I was like, damn, every time you come to the news, another unarmed Black man gets gunned down by the police. All right? Go ahead, brother.
Trooper Kadar said, or Brother Reggie said, follow the commandments and the priests and prophets.
That's right.
Trooper Kadar said, because the Most High allowed other nations to rule the earth because of his fairness or our disobedience. Salakia.
Primarily because of our disobedience. This is the reason why, he sent a nation of fierce countenance against us. It's because of our disobedience. He told you exactly what he was going to do.
Yeah.
So you thought. He told us exactly what he was going to do.
Right. Yeah, you good.
The Most High Power, he warned us. He forewarned us
Right.
about what he was going to do. We can go to Deuteronomy and talk about that briefly. Shalom, Shikatah. What's going on, sir? So we're supposed to know the truth, and we're supposed to be set free from the bondage of believing that our vote matters. Shalom, Shikatah. What's up, Adawan? You to what? You went to class, sir? But yeah, man, black people gotta stop being so disillusioned with America. You think you're doing something great, like you being the perfect citizen, the model minority. They gave that to who? The Asians. They didn't give that to you. Everything that we've done, all the blood, sweat, and tears that we've spilled for the sake of their empire, we get zero acknowledgement, man. You got what, 29 days this year? You had 29 days. Talk about Black history. I didn't see much. I didn't see much about Black history being emphasized on the news. You cut the TV on. I don't see much. I didn't see much at all. In former years, people will go all out when it came down to Black History Month. Yeah. Woe out the saints. Good night. All right, where we at?
Trooper, go to our question, Deuteronomy 28 and 43.
Yeah, let's go there. Go to Deuteronomy 28.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and we can start at verse 42.
So read his question again.
It says, because the Most High allow other nations to rule the earth because of his fairness or our disobedience, Salaki.
Yeah, we serve a just God, man. Not only do we serve a just God, the Most High Power, he's not the type to lie. He's not the type to renege on a promise. If he said this is what's going to happen, you better believe this was going to happen. You decide you want to be LGBTQ, your blood is going to be on you, man. It's going to be upon you, is what the Bible says. And you better expect it. This is the reason why we lead in HIV and AIDS, because we want to embrace these other lifestyles, these other lifestyle choices. All right. You said Deuteronomy 28 and what?
This book, Deuteronomy 28, chapter 28, verse 43 to 45.
Go to 15.
Come on. Verse 15.
Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Yeah, the Most High Power telling you right now, this is what's going to happen if you're disobedient, if you disobey me, if you decide that you don't want to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. This is what's going to happen. All right, you can go back.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
That's right.
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
That's right. Who runs the banking systems right now, man? How many Black-owned banks do they have that are thriving in this system of America? You think about your debt to income ratio, most of us are in the red. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he command thee.
That's right, man.
So like, if I may, you ran by you breaking it down so eloquently and so fluidly. I call it the vibe, man. The vibe is real. Like, we talking about how we lend ourselves to the oppressor, and he don't never give you anything back. You go in there and you work, you slave, put in them hours. You go in that bank and you ask for a loan, they give you that loan, and guess what they want? They want it back with interest. You understand? It's almost like it's unreasonable interest. Like you see the condition where they know is you have football players and basketball players on the spectrum. Every other Black Hispanic they've been making between $100,000 and $200,000, and that's not even the medium income household. The medium is damn near like what 36,000. You understand? So we talk about the interest that they place on credit cards. Anything, it's like starting a business. Anything that you're gonna buy that has value that can increase your business, guess what? Esau knows it.
Right.
The oppressor knows it. You understand? You start a lawn service, yeah, you're gonna get that lawnmower, but that weed eater, that trailer, the stuff to lock your toolbox up with, it costs 3 times that it normally would cost, because they know that's something that Black, Hispanics, Native Indians use to get out of hell. You understand? That's the crazy part, but it's all a game. Right.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, sir.
So we talk about like even you give your children over to this empire, and guess what they get? They still tell you you're not good enough. We send your children out to the militaries and they lose their lives in war, and you find out that wasn't even the weapons of mass destructions. And they still send another recruiter to the same high school. Huh? He'll be right back in the neighborhood knowing that he lied to the daughters of slaves to get them to join the oppressor's military.
Right.
And that's how we have to see it. We see it an opportunity to go to college. Half of us, you get a college degree. How many of us are actually using your college degree in the field that you went to college for?
Facts.
And now you're paying student loans back.
Good night.
And that's what happens because of our disobedience. But if we would listen to what thus says the Lord, then guess what? We'll see the importance of us going to the schools that we would directly benefit from professionally. That's why we're able to look at Yahawashi and say he was a carpenter based on what? The skills that his father gave him, man. You know, that they move like an operation. So we got to start doing the same thing and stop looking for Esau for handouts, because just to show he gives us something, what they say, they give you $100 and take it back 99. Come on, man. Go ahead, Salaki Bunky.
Damn right. That's a heavy proverb there. Give you $100 and take back 99. Good night. Yeah, when we talk about the Most High Power not being slack concerning his promises in 2 Peter 3:9, you should look at that verse too. Because all these curses being prophesied, there's a promise that these things were going to happen. We're not like the Most High. We break promises all the time. You know, we break promises all the time. Our word is not our bond, but the Most High Power, his word is his bond. Okay. All right. Where we at? It was John 8:32. We finished that up. Cool. All right, let's pull that article up. The first tab I have, I want to pull up, not that one. You can X that out of that one. Most High Christ. Yeah, this is it. We'll talk about the Democratic Party, because this is the party the so-called Negroes love, is the Democratic Party. And just want to kind of talk about the history of the Democratic Party. You know, we're going to run through it. We're going to do the Democratic Party. Then we're going to talk about why the Whig Party failed. Then we'll touch briefly on the Republican Party, pause. And then I wanted to talk about that Obama effect, which is a phrase that was coined by a man named John W. McAllister. Check. And this is what happens, you know, when we put all of our faith and hopes into these politicians. Oh, okay, no sweat.
All right, this is article, all right, on thehistory.com. The Democratic Party, all right. Start off. The Democratic Party is one of the 2 major political parties in the United States and the nation's oldest existing political party.
The nation's oldest, pay attention to that, as old as America, man. You know about the origins of America.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you know about the origins of America, man. America was founded for white people by white people. This is its oldest party. Don't be thrown off by the name of the GOP or the Grand Old Party. Don't get thrown off by that. It's talking about a separate party, okay, which is more aligned with your ideals, you know, as being more conservative, okay? Keep reading, Salakia.
After the Civil War, the party dominated in the South due to its opposition to civil and political rights for African Americans.
Because of what? It dominated in the South because
its opposition to civil and political rights for African Americans.
So they were opposed to, or they were against African Americans having rights, having civil liberties, those inalienable rights that are God given, things that we take for granted now. But back during slavery, we would have really, embraced the idea of civil liberties. What are some civil liberties? What are some liberties that the so-called oppressor was trying to keep us from enjoying in his empire, in his what do you call it? His utopia. That's what America was supposed to be for so-called white society. They look at voting like this is one of those civil liberties, but voting hasn't benefited us at all. Think about the right to bear arms. Commander General YAHANNA just had a wonderful time in South Carolina. The brothers that live in the inner cities, in those urban areas, you can't own no firearm. You got to prove that you are a business owner or you're worth some money that needs to be protected. Your Second Amendment rights get trampled on left and right. What about just being free, being able to come and go as you please, being able to own property? You think about civil rights, being identified as a human being and not as an animal, to not be dehumanized, to be able to get an education. I mean, those are civil rights, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Are they quiet in the chat?
Let me see. We got brother
Most High in Christ. I knew my sister was in here.
Trooper Kadar says somewhere down the line, Republicans and Democrats did a flip-flop.
Right, they did. We're gonna talk about that flip-flop. That flip-flop.
Right. Sister Nara said freedom of speech is a civil liberty.
That's right, man. And we embrace that civil liberty. What is that? The First Amendment right?
Right.
The freedom of speech, us being able to go out there on the street corners and highways and byways and cry aloud and spare not.
And Brother James Futrell said the American dream.
Yeah, right. That's right. Having a slice of that pie, a piece of that American dream, which is a facade for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right. You think you made it, you realize when you get there, you're not wanted. And that you sold out. You sold out and stepped on other brothers and sisters to get where you are. Yeah, we can go back to the article. Most High in Christ, the water for the people in the chat.
After the Civil War, the party dominated in the South due to its opposition to civil and political rights for African Americans.
Right.
After a major shift in the 20th century, today's Democrats are known for their association with a strong federal government and support for minority, women's and labor rights, environmental protection, and progressive reforms.
Right. All this stuff is very popular sounding, because we don't identify ourselves as God's chosen. We don't really place ourselves within the context of this Bible at all. Because if we did, we look at Deuteronomy 7:6 and realize what our position is supposed to be, and we start to act accordingly. But your pastor, he's not going to teach that. He's going to teach that God loves everybody. God loves everyone. So you don't even have a fighting chance. That dog ain't going to hunt. It hasn't hunted. It hasn't worked for us. All right? You should dare to do something different. And that's what this is. This is why we look so strange to you, because we're doing something different. We're doing what we're supposed to do, according to what the Bible says. All right? All right, let's talk about this real quick.
Democratic Republican Party. Through the U.S. Constitution, though the U.S. Constitution doesn't mention political parties, factions soon developed among the new nation's founding fathers.
They created, you talk about the house of division. This is the impetus of that. The founding fathers couldn't even agree. But we're in agreement here in the I.S.U.P.K. We got one constitution. We got one rule of law here. All right. Keep reading.
The Federalists, including George Washington, John Adams, and Alexander Hamilton, favored a strong central government and a national banking system masterminded by Hamilton.
Right.
But in 1792, supporters of Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, who favored decentralized, limited government, formed an opposition faction that will become known as the Democratic Republicans.
Yeah, because they're slimy bastards. They always want to find an angle to be wicked and evil, violent, disgusting. Thomas Jefferson was known for creeping into the slave quarters. You ever heard of Sally Hemings? You know, and all the children that he birthed from his slaves. He don't want big government. Big government is going to be on your plantation, letting you know, no, you cannot sleep with your slaves. You know, big government. He wanted little government. He wanted to be able to grow pot. He wanted to be able to grow pot on his plantation and smoke all the weed he wanted to smoke, sleep with whatever he wanted to sleep with, rob whoever he wanted to rob, which is what he did while he was on this earth. Right. Write papers about, you know, us being inferior, us being likening us to primates. That's what Thomas Jefferson did with his time on this earth. Keep reading.
Despite Washington's warning against the danger of political parties in his famous farewell address, the power struggle between Federalist and Democratic Republican Party dominated the early government, with Jefferson and his supporters emerging largely triumphant after 1800.
Right.
The Federalists steadily lost ground in the early 19th century and dissolved completely after the War of 1812.
So that's one party down, the Federalists, okay? Done. Keep reading.
Jacksonian Democrats. In the highly controversial presidential election of 1824, 4 Democratic Republican candidates ran against each other. Though Andrew Jackson won the popular vote and 99 electoral votes, the lack of an electoral majority threw the election to the House of Representatives, which ended up giving the victory to John Quincy Adams. In response, New York Senator Martin Van Buren helped build a new political organization, the Democratic Party, to back Jackson, who defeated Adams easily in 1828.
Now, this party was created to support that Indian killing bastard, Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is known for what? The Indian Removal Act of 1830?
Trail of Tears.
Yeah, the Trail of Tears. That's what Andrew Jackson is known for, which is the Democratic Party was founded to support him. But black people want to align themselves with this old evil, this wicked party, man. Keep reading.
Slovakia. After Jackson vetoed a bill renewing the charter, renewing the charter of the Bank of the United States in 1832, his opponents founded the Whig Party, led by Senator Henry Clay of Kentucky.
Right.
By the 1840s, Democrats and Whigs were both national parties with supporters from various regions of the country and dominated the U.S. political systems. Democrats would win all but 2 presidential elections from 1828 to 1856.
Good night, man. That's ridiculous. You can switch this tab to the second tab. Why the Whig Party? So we see the origin of the Democratic Party. All right. It wasn't for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to advance at all in America. It wasn't. This party was not founded, you know, so that you can have these civil liberties that the so-called white man had. In fact, it was completely against that. They were in opposition to that or to those things. Okay. Where's my facts and figures at? Oh man. You think about every it says that no Democratic presidential nominee has earned less than 82% of the black vote since Kennedy, man. Since John F. Kennedy. you think of Kennedy and all the things, the reform that he did for so-called black people early on during the civil rights movements and such, you know, black Kennedy's looked at in high regard. He's held in high esteem by black people. Most black people have that picture of Martin Luther King, and it's got Caesar Borgia or White Jesus, and then it's got John F. Kennedy on the picture. These Democrats, man. All right, we can read this one.
All right, this is the Whigs. In the mid-19th century, the two most powerful political parties in the United States were the Democrats and the Whigs. In two presidential elections, 1840 and 1848, Americans voted a Whig into the White House. And some of the most prominent political voices of the contentious pre-Civil War era were Whigs, including Henry Clay, Daniel Webster, and a one-term Illinois congressman named Abraham Lincoln.
Right. So they were in opposition of Andrew Jackson, you know, in his racist Democratic Party, which was about what? Little government. What else did it say they were about? The Democratic Party. One of Thomas Jefferson was. That's right. So Thomas Jefferson's ideals were aligned with Andrew Jackson's ideals. Keep reading.
But for all of their prominence and power, the Whigs couldn't keep it together. The all-consuming issue of slavery was the Whigs' ultimate undoing, pitting Northern and Southern Whigs against each other and scattering Whig leadership to upstart third parties like the Know-Nothings and Republicans.
So, black man, you have to understand that America would be nothing at all without your presence, without your contributions, without your influence, without your spirit. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians must remove their spirit from America. That's right. We got to let go of whatever spiritual chains we have attached to this place, okay? Because this place means us no well. They don't mean us any good at all. America has never had any love for the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, based off of their party systems, man. You're getting to see the origin of the Democratic Party. You get to see the origin of the Whig Party, which is going to be the Republican Party. If you just keep reading, you'll see.
All right. Over the course of a little more than 20 years, the Whig Party experienced a meteoric political rise that was rivaled only by its abrupt and total collapse. Who were the Whigs? Check this devil out.
Good night. Look like King Vitamin.
They do. Just like King Vitamin.
Hell nah.
Look what's in his hand, the damn veto bill.
And a scepter.
Right. All right.
I don't want him telling me to do nothing. I don't want him to be ruling over me at all.
Look at the witchy poo kicks he got on.
Ain't no way.
That old eagle right there.
He's standing all over the Constitution.
Yeah. All right.
And that's supposed to represent Andrew Jackson. Yeah. It's a caricature of Andrew Jackson.
1833.
Good night.
The Whigs were a loose coalition of diverse political interests: anti-Masons, National Republicans, Disillusioned Democrats.
Disillusioned.
Oh, slocky. Disillusioned Democrats. United by a shared hatred of President Andrew Jackson. To the Whigs, Jackson was King Andrew I, a despot who usurped power from Congress to serve his own populist ideals.
The term despot, what does that mean? A despot. Yeah, you can do Google. Google us too. Okay. She right back there. Yeah. Hey
Google. What is the spot?
According to Wikipedia, the Spot is a supervillain appearing in American comic books.
No, stop, Google.
Despot.
Hey Google, stop. Google, stop. Hey Google, what does despot mean?
Here's the definition of desperate.
Despot.
showing
I
our
can't say it. I got to
lawful
think of it. Stop, Google. I'll read it. That's okay. Stop, Google.
Hey, Google, what does the term despot mean? Hey, Google.
Let me see. It says
Hell with
definition:
Google.
a ruler or other persons who holds absolute power, typically one who exercises it in a cruel or oppressive way.
That's right. So Andrew Jackson was acting like he was the king of America. And you think of what's that king off of Shrek? What's the king off of Shrek with the little prince? The Farquaad. That's Andrew Jackson, man. Don't make no damn sense. Lord Farquaad. All right, keep reading.
The Whigs formed in 1834 in response to Jackson's refusal to fund the Second National Bank. They took their name from a British anti-monarchist party that was revived in colonial America as American Whigs. Clay, known as the Great Compromiser, was the Whigs' most influential and vocal early leader. The Jacksonian Democrats painted the Whigs as a party of wealthy northern elites who wanted to sidestep the will of the people.
So you're already seeing the origin of the division between North and South, the northern states and the southern states. And you understand that it's always about money with the oppressor. You know, slavery, well, we'll say agriculture, wasn't prominent in the northern states because the ground is frozen half the year. All right. Agriculture was more profitable in the southern states because you can, when do we stop harvesting? I mean, they got collard greens till December. They pulling collard greens out of the garden, man. So you could pretty much farm year round. And you got different crops that you plant at different times of the spring and throughout the season, so it's a continual thing. So this is how the South would make their money. Their economy was based off of agriculture. In the North, their economy was based off of what? Industry. Okay. And that's the separation there. Okay. It's all about profit. It's all about profit. It's all about their economy. It's all about that bottom dollar when it comes down to the oppressor. And if he can make $1 off of you, he will. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child, as he has throughout the course of history. Okay? Let's keep reading, brother.
All right. Where are I at? 18. Okay. Slocky. I think I did. Did I read that part? Democrats and Whigs, both parties, supporters of various. By 1840s, Democrats and Whigs were both national parties with supporters from various regions of the country and dominated the U.S. political systems. Democrats would win all but 2 presidential elections from 1828 to 1856. Civil War and Reconstruction. In the 1850s, the debate.
It's all good.
Check. All right.
You have to turn the volume or the gain up on that thing.
Okay. There we go. Check. It says, in 1850s, the debate over whether slavery should be extended into new Western territories split these political coalitions.
It was about what now?
Slavery should be extended into new Western territories split these political coalitions.
It's always been about you, black man. I'm telling you, man, this world will not fall off its axis, if we're taken out of the conversation. They wouldn't be able to function. They're already arguing with each other, So what happens with us, it matters in America. Right. It would absolutely matter if you were to remove your spirit from this place and not go vote. That would have an effect on the polls. It would have an effect on who the candidates would be. It would have a real definitive effect. They would have to take heed and pay attention to what's happening to our Negroes. It would be an epiphany to them, and it would get the Lord's attention because they would not like that. You talking about scunion, Imagine if we decide to be obedient. You know, we would really force the Lord's hand in returning, because our oppressor would have a conniption, man. He would literally wage war on us. All right. But don't fear. All right. Do not fear what the so-called oppressor can do to us. He's been doing it since we've been here. All right. Where we at?
We're still here. Okay. Southern Democrats favored slavery in all territories, while their northern counterparts thought each territory should decide for itself via popular referendum.
There we go.
At the party's national convention in 1860, Southern Democrats nominated John C. Breckinridge, while the Northern Democrats backed Stephen Douglas. The split helped Abraham Lincoln, candidate of the newly formed Republican Party, to victory in the 1860 election, though he won only 40% of the popular vote.
Right.
The Union victory in the Civil War left Republicans in control of Congress, where they would dominate for the rest of the 19th century. During the Reconstruction era, the Democratic Party solidified its hold on the South, as most white Southerners opposed the Republican measures protecting civil and voting rights for African Americans.
Right.
By the mid-1870s, Southern states legislators had succeeded in rolling back many of the Republican reforms and Jim Crow laws, enforcing segregation and suppressing black voting rights will remain in place for the better part of a century.
Okay, so when you talk about Jim Crow laws, you know what that is. You think of segregation, right? You think of the black codes. What else? You think of the Ku Klux Klan. You think about lynchings. You know, all that had to do with Jim Crow in the South. All that is symbolic of the Jeffersonian, not Jeffersonian, Andrew Jackson and his politics, his policies. He was about white society, period. He didn't give a damn about the Native Indian. He didn't care about the slaves, as far as them having civil rights, being able to enjoy the same liberties as a law-abiding white man. That was against his way. All right. Drop that. Let's go to that next tab, the Republican Party. Not that one. That one. There you go. Yeah, Most High in Christ. If you're just joining us, this is the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. This is Fayetteville, North Carolina's Monday night biblical history class. And we're just going into the history of the political parties here in America. We started with the Democratic Party. We talked about the Whig Party and why that failed. And now we're going to talk about the Republican Party. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
The Republican Party founded 1854. In Ripon, Wisconsin, former members of the Whig Party meet to establish a new party to oppose the spread of slavery into the Western territories. The Whig Party, which was formed in 1834 to oppose the tyranny of President Andrew Jackson, had shown itself incapable of coping with the national crisis over slavery.
Mm-hmm.
With the successful introduction of the Kansas-Nebraska Bill of 1854, an act that dissolved the terms of the Missouri Compromise and allowed slave or free status to be decided in the territories by popular sovereignty. The Whigs disintegrated.
Right.
Why do you have a period right there? The Whigs disintegrated.
Yeah.
By February 1854, anti-slavery Whigs had begun meeting in the upper Midwestern states to discuss the formation of a new party. One such meeting in Wisconsin on March 20th, 1854, is generally remembered as the founding meeting of the Republican Party.
And that's why you see all those states up there are usually red states, based off of, that's where they were originated. They said the upper Midwestern states, Montana, and all those other states on the West, right? In the Midwest. All right.
The Republicans rapidly gained supporters in the North, and in 1856, their first presidential candidate, John C. Fremont, won 11 of the 16 northern states. By 1860, the majority of the southern slave states were publicly threatening secession if the Republicans won the presidency. In November 1860, Republican Abraham Lincoln was selected president over a divided Democratic Party. And 6 weeks later, South Carolina formally seceded from the Union.
Yeah, that's when the South decided to form their the Confederate States of America. You know, they couldn't take what was happening, so they decided to, you know, do that other thing and divide. We can't be divided in here. As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we cannot take a page out of our oppressor's history book and be divided. Okay, we have to be on one accord. We have to be of one mind, one body, one spirit. And it's not that in the Christian church. There's over 42,000 different denominations within Christendom. But there's only one Israelite school, universal practical knowledge, man. All right. All camps have been commanded, have been ordered by Commander General YAHANNA to come back together. All right. You can just come in here and do like we all did. Put on all black. Sit down, shut up, ask your questions in order, okay, in an orderly fashion. We don't bite. You know what I'm saying? It's a real easy thing. If you want to gain access to the truth, we're building the kingdom of heaven here on earth, man, within this school. All right. I suggest you come put your brick in. All right. Let's finish this last paragraph and then we'll get into some scriptures.
Within 6 more weeks, 5 other southern states had followed South Carolina's lead. And in April 1861, the Civil War began when Confederate shore batteries under General P.G.T. Bugert opened fire on Fort Sumter in South Carolina's Charleston Harbor.
Good old Beauregard. Good night. That's a rough name.
What's it called?
PGT
Beauregard.
Beauregard.
Yeah, Beauregard.
You sound like that's a serious brother there.
It's like one of Louisiana tobacco spitting devils.
Massa Beauregard.
Yeah, Massa Beauregard. Right?
Good night. Massa Beau is what they call him.
The Civil War firmly identified the Republican Party as the party of the victorious North.
So the Republican Party was the party that was identified with the North. Black man. So what the hell are you doing claiming to be this Democrat? What that don't even make sense to me. You don't even know the history of what it is that you're claiming. It says the Republican Party represented the North. The Democratic Party represented the South, and the states that decided to secede from the Union. You know, the states decided to not be aligned with the ideals of the United States of America anymore. All because of some dirty behind money, man. All because of what? Slavery. They can't even determine what to do with their own union because everything revolves around you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. The Bible calls us the salt of the earth for a reason, man. We are the flavoring to this human experience. We make everywhere you put Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the right spirit, we make the place better, man. But in the wrong spirit, we continue to go vote. Nothing's going to change. In fact, things are just going to get worse. All right? Is that it on that?
There's a little bit more. The Civil War firmly identified the Republican Party as the party of the victor. Did I read that already?
I'm not sure.
As the party of the victorious North, and after the war of the Republican-dominated Congress forced a radical Reconstruction policy on the South, which saw the passage of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to the Constitution and granting of equal rights to all Southern citizens.
All right, so let's talk about those amendments real quick. The 13th, 14th, and 15th. Do we know what those are? The 13th. Ask the chat. What's the 13th Amendment? The 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendments. What are they?
All right, let's see.
You know they got something to do with slavery.
Right.
If not everything to do with slavery.
All right. I got it. You want to read it or just?
Yeah, you can read it. Because they no telling who in here still.
The 13th Amendment abolished slavery.
The what?
The 13th Amendment abolished slavery.
Yeah, the 13th Amendment is the amendment that got you off of the plantation. Okay, black man. The 13th Amendment abolished the institution of slavery. It did away with it. Okay.
The 14th Amendment gave citizenship to all people born in the U.S.
So this is a big issue right now, hot button issue all the time with respect to politics and American policy or public policy is immigration. All right. Naturalization. You actually being born here in America on American soil and being able to claim citizenship. That's guaranteed by the 14th Amendment, right? This is the 14th Amendment also talk about you being able to go back into slavery if you were to break any of the laws of America with respect to a felony.
Right.
That's where you can, your citizenship can be stripped from you and you'll be relegated to the position of a slave again, all over again. And this is the reason why, you think about the prison system and mass incarceration, why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians fill up the prisons. More so to our Caucasian counterparts. It's just slavery by another name, man. All right? Slavery by another name. So we got the 13th, we got the 14th, and what is the 15th Amendment guarantee?
The 15th Amendment gave Black Americans the right to vote.
So the Black Americans got the right to vote before white women. Black Americans got the right to vote before so-called white women. Not to say there's any value in that amendment for you, black man. You don't have to exercise all these rights. You got some people that don't feel like they need to own a gun. They don't exercise their Second Amendment right to own a firearm. You don't have to exercise your right to vote. Where we at?
We're over here at the so this article, Republican. That was it. Okay. It says to the 14th and 15th Amendments to the Constitution by granting of equal rights to all Southern citizens. By 1876, the Republican Party had lost control of the South, but it continued to dominate the presidency until the election of Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1933.
That's right. All right, you could drop that. What's that next article?
The next one is how Republican.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Animal symbols.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Because I think it's really, really interesting. You start getting into, the drama between, the so-called white man. He's always been at odds against his own kind, man. This is older than the Hatfields and McCoys. You think about them not being able to resolve their differences without war, without the shedding of blood. I'm talking about households were divided over policy. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. They had the Bible then too. Nobody thought about what God thought. This is how I know that the Bible to the so-called oppressor is a mere comic book. He doesn't believe, that the people in this Bible actually exist to this very day. But if you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you better, because you are the Israelites. You are God's chosen. All right? And salvation is for you and you alone. Who needs salvation more than you? Who needs to be saved more than the so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian? I'll wait. And I don't care about what's happening over in Palestine right now. That ain't got nothing to do with us. They got their own land. They have their own land. They got their own whatever, their own country. Let the heathens do what they do. Let them be at odds with each other, man. Our concern is for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Not to say that we don't have compassion for what's happening to them, Nobody wants to see some damn baby being blown apart by a bomb. We don't want to see that. Yeah, we have compassion for that because we're for humanity. Humanity is not going to be in its proper context unless we're on the top. Unless Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in rulership. All right? If you can, let's talk about these symbols, the symbolism behind, these political parties that are embraced in America, man.
Got it. How the Republican and Democratic parties got their animal symbols. All right. Historychannel.com. Do you see the elephant right there? And
the elephant represents what? The Republican Party, right? And that donkey, that donkey over there represents the Democrats or the Democratic Party, right? Let's talk about how this came to be. All right.
The Democratic Party's donkey and the Republican Party's elephant have been on the political scene since the 19th century. The origins of the Democratic donkey can be traced to the 1828 presidential campaign of Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson, that Indian killing hero, all right? The one that was responsible for Indian removal, the Indian Removal Act of 1830, the precursor to the Trail of Tears. Andrew Jackson, the Indian, the baby killing Indian killer. That's what Andrew Jackson was, man. Wicked, vile, disgusting, and evil. The Democratic Party was founded to support him. All right? Keep reading.
The origins of Slocky. During that race, opponents of Jackson called him a jackass.
They called him a what?
Jackass.
They called him a jackass. That's the reason why you got a donkey. Andrew Jackson, his opponents called him a jackass, and for good reason. Andrew Jackson was one of them tobacco spitting. I said Lord Farquhar, right? He believed in what? Small government. He was just like Thomas Jefferson. Andrew Jackson was sleeping. I'm sure he snuck around the slave quarters, sleeping with brothers' ribs, man. Keep reading.
However, rather than rejecting the label, Jackson, a hero of the War of 1812, who later served in the U.S. House of Representatives and U.S. Senate, was amused by it and included an image of the animal in his campaign posters. Jackson went on to defeat incumbent John Quincy Adams and served as America's first Democratic president. In the 1870s, influential political cartoonist Thomas Nast helped popularize the donkey as a symbol for the entire Democratic Party.
He's such a jackass. He accepted that symbol to represent the party that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians align themselves with, which is ridiculous. This party has always been against you having civil liberties, against you being a human being, man, and not being a slave. That's what the Democratic Party always represented, man, and it still represents that to this day. All right? Go down to the, let's talk about the elephant real quick.
All right. Let's see here. The Republican Party was formed in 1854, and 6 years later, Abraham Lincoln became his first member elected to the White House. An image of an elephant was featured as a Republican symbol in at least one political cartoon and a newspaper illustration during the Civil War. When seeing the elephant was an expression used by soldiers to mean experiencing combat. But the pachyderm didn't start to take hold as a GOP symbol until Thomas Nast, who's considered the father of the modern political cartoon, used it in an 1874 Harper's Weekly cartoon.
All right, so when you think about the elephant, you think about the donkey. Donkey is
elephants, strong, dignified, harmless when calm, unstoppable when threatened. That's what Thomas Nash thought in 1874 when he drew an elephant to depict the Republican Party in a political cartoon. It didn't take long for newspapers across the country to pick up the image. The Republican Party and the pachyderm have been united ever since. What you may not know is that President of Sri Lanka gave a baby elephant to President Reagan in 1984. And Gerald and Betty Ford had an elephant room in their house decorated with elephant ornaments given to the couple from the Grand Old Party supporters. But hang on, why is the Republican Party also called the Grand Old Party? The party nickname originally stood for Gallant Old Party. According to one story, it was shortened to GOP when a newspaper ran out of space in an article.
Right. So they've aligned the Democratic Party with a dumb beast of burden, the jackass or the donkey, and the Republican Party with an elephant. Elephants are known for what? Their wisdom. He just called it a majestic pachyderm. Okay. They're known for their wisdom, and the elephant never forgets. All right. So that's the reason why those caricatures were suitable or created by Thomas Nash to represent each one of the parties. Okay. Let's drop that. All right. So when we think about the Democratic Party, we have to understand that it never had our best interests at heart. It's always been a self-serving party. What I mean by that is they serve white society solely. And you think about the worst of the worst when it comes down to the oppressor. And Andrew Jackson was the bottom of the barrel, okay? That's what the agenda of the Democratic Party is and has always been and will forever be, okay? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians got to remove their spirit from both parties, all right? You shouldn't identify as being a Democrat nor a Republican. You're an Israelite, all right? You're a Hebrew Israelite, all right? And the Most High Power didn't put you on this earth to align yourself with, these devices of the oppressor, man. It's ridiculous for us to believe that, we would be able to be equal participants in his kingdom. He ain't going to be no equal participant in ours. He's going to be relegated to the position that God created him, as being the most subtle beast. But he won't be able to use no subtlety in the kingdom of heaven. He's going to be created for hard bondage, man. That's what he's going to be doing. Right. He's going to be serving. He's going to be serving us the way that we served him, but we pouring out a double portion for him. All right. Anyhow, let's see. No, we don't want to talk about that. Let's get some scriptures out the way, man. Let me see that tab right there, the Democratic Party. Second to the last. Okay. Just hold that. Yeah, hold that. We'll talk about that in a minute if we got time. Also, when it came down to the Obama effect, us aligning ourselves with these politicians, man, just on the strength of them claiming to have our best interest at heart. That last tab, Kowal, the Obama effect, this is a journal article that I looked up. I'm just going to read the abstract because it's really interesting. All right. And we're going to talk about this thing because certain things transpired when Obama came into office. We were speaking about this a little earlier. Yeah. There you go, right there. Just read that abstract. This is by a man named John W. McAllister. It's called the Obama effect.
Ready?
Yeah.
The Obama effect is a term that I coined to describe what is happening in the U.S. currently. The presidency of Barack Obama began on January 20th, 2009, and since that time, the establishment has been rebelling.
The establishment. What is the establishment? All of the different entities with respect to power and government, the different municipalities, the police departments, the court systems. That is who he's speaking of when he talks about the establishment, okay, or white society, okay? Keep reading.
The presidency of Barack Obama.
The rebellion in the
The
beginning.
rebellion in the beginning was covert.
Meaning that it was hidden, it was covert, it wasn't overt, like obvious. It wasn't done out in the open. We talked about those dog whistle terms, those dog whistle phrases. That's covert. It's hidden, it's secret. Okay.
All right. The rebellion in the beginning was covert, but now in his second term of the presidency, they are overtly acting out. The Obama effect, in layman's terms, is the establishment's way of flicking the president the middle finger by using the system that was designed to protect us against us. They, establishment, use the judicial system and police to enforce and instill fear and a sense of we are still in control.
Right. So because Obama looked like a so-called Negro, the establishment or white society as a whole decided to rebel. And the way that they rebelled was by unaliving you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. These are some of the names of individuals that were unalived during the Obama presidency. Alton Sterling. You remember Alton Sterling? Yep. What about Sandra Bland? You remember Sandra Bland? Right. How can we forget Tamir Rice? You know, Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin. Those are very, very prominent names that, you know, we're still grieving over as a community, as a family, as a nation. And this is what happens. This is what the establishment of white society does when we decide that we want to align ourselves, mobilize a vote, and put who we think appropriate in office, in the highest seat of the world. This is what happens. You get unalived in the street, man. All right? So it makes no sense for you to go cast your vote because there's no way white society is going to ever accept you as a black, Hispanic, or a Native Indian, man. All right? You could drop that, Kowal. And I want you to pull this scripture. Let's go to Exodus 23:1. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 1.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 26, 23, and verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report, but, thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Good night. Thou shalt not raise a false report. What does that mean, to raise a false report? What does it mean? You know, you think about these political pundits, these politicians, and the things that they say, man. They raise a false report all the time when it comes down to what they claim they're going to do for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What they're going to do. They're going to build a wall, right? What did Joe Biden say? You ain't black unless you vote for me. Right. What did he say? What was the false report that Diddy rose? Vote or die. Vote or die. Puff Diddy. Puff Daddy. Joe Muhammad always say Puff Diddy. Oh, man. And he's getting, I don't know what that bastard did. But the Lord is against him right now, you know. You think about Senator Tim Scott. He says, we need a president who will unite our country. We need Donald Trump. That's what that coon, that buck-eyed coon in South Carolina said about Donald Trump. He's going to unite our country? Right. We talking about Diddy. We talked about Tim Scott. These are our people. They're raising a false report. And they're trying to join us hand in hand with the wicked. Who else tried to join us hand in hand with the wicked? Who else? Yeah, that bastard Martin Luther King, you know, he wanted to join us hand in hand with the oppressor, man. You know, all these examples of false reports, we were commanded by the Most High not to join the wicked, man, to be an unrighteous witness. So you're claiming, you're standing for these politicians like how we stand for a brother that just gets raised up. Like we stand for a brother that just gets his name, a sister that gets her name. You know, we stand up for them because we know them. Right. We stand up for them because they have proven to be a friend. They have proven themselves. They have shown their quality. What the hell do you know about who's on the ballot? You don't know. You don't know a thing about who's running on any of the ballots. Martin Luther King's dream expressed a vision of us joining hands in hand with the enemy, with our oppressors, man. Right. MLK, he was a Christian pastor, which lets me know everything I need to know about him. You know, he was wicked or amoral. Christian pastors are amoral. They don't believe in having a moral compass. They don't keep any of God's laws. Right. You think about the standard of morality, you can find that in the law, statutes, and commandments. But the church, the Christian church, says the laws are done away with. I mean, make it make sense. Either you're gonna be about the Most High power or you're not. Christian pastors are against the God of this Bible. Christian pastors are against the sacrifice that Christ made by dying on that cross, man. That's right. Christian pastors urinate on Christ's sacrifice. That's what they do. They desecrate his sacrifice with their lies, them raising false reports, wanting to align us with the enemy that's hell-bent on our destruction. That don't make sense. It's like, you know, you're being hunted by Freddy Krueger and you're going to Freddy Krueger and asking for help. It don't make sense. You know, Martin Luther King did not keep any of God's laws. Right. Not nail one. And he was unalive because of that. All right. So when we go down to the polls to cast our vote, we're symbolically standing for the candidates and their platforms. And you can't do that. We can't join hand in hand with our enemies. That's against our law. That's against our heritage. That's against our history. Our ancestors didn't do that. We knew that we were separate. We knew that we were set apart. We knew that the Lord severed us from all the other nations. So why the hell are we trying to be so goddamn democratic? Right. Make that make sense. Do you truly know these politicians? Do you? Don't credit them or accept their lies as truth, all right? And we shouldn't follow the masses to perform evil. Let's keep reading that verse. Go to verse 2.
Verse 2, Exodus chapter 23, verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
Yeah, we talk about those hot button, hot topic issues right now. And that southern border is a hot button issue with respect to public policy and candidates. The reason why they want to put Donald Trump back in the seat is because he professed that he was going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. That's what he said. And the people that truly believe in him believe that he's going to get that done. But what does that mean for our people? What does that mean for the people that are coming from South and Central America and the Caribbean that are trying to get into America for, you know, a better life, the land of opportunity? What does that mean for them? They're already crawling under cardboard to not get their back shredded up by concertina wire. They drowning in the Rio Grande, man. It's absolutely ridiculous what's happening to our people at the southern border. All right. You should be more concerned about those damn Africans and those Chinese people that you're letting in on the southernmost border. Right. And all the scamming that they're going to do when they come here. That's right. You thought COVID was a doozy. Good night. Go ahead, brother.
You're right. The way they, they don't vet those Asians, man. Aren't we at war with China?
Yeah.
That video they pulled up when they had the immigrants at the border, it was like 15, 20 of them. They was all Chinese.
That's right.
They going to the major cities. Where you going? Cali? Where you going? New York, Chicago, wherever they, like good night. You worried about Hector and Juarez and Juan and them. They ain't about to do nothing but just clean up and pick your sriracha and some and strawberries. The whole time you letting, One gone, young fat hoe come over here. He about to blow up and terrorize the whole damn internet grid. He gonna put arsenic in your shrimp fried rice.
Right.
You understand? Like, what the hell are we doing? This place is fitted for destruction.
That's right.
America's finished, man.
Damn right. You're right about that. Get that brother a hand. You're right. And when that, we're just gonna take a drink and say La Yasha Allah. When that first bomb drops, man. Salakia, drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Was that it on that? We finished with that verse? Deuteronomy 17 and 15. Let's knock this out real quick. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17 and verse 15. All right. Thou shalt in any wise set king over thee.
Salakia, read it again. Salakia.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Most High thy power shall choose.
Right, man. You're trying to do the Lord's work. The Most High power is going to put whomever he wants to put in the presidency, in that seat. The Lord's going to do it. He don't need your black vote, all right? He don't need your Hispanic or Native Indian vote. America's doing just fine without your goddamn vote. We don't need your Haitian vote. At night, we're not supposed to set them king over us, man. We have a king. Are we disregarding that? Does this book mean anything to you? Do you truly believe in following the Lord? Christian? You swear up and down you're a Christian, you follow Christ. But you piss on this sacrifice, man. When you go down to the polls and you vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who are both against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And they've proven it over the course of their careers. They've proven that they hate you. They've proven they don't give a damn about you or your families or our families. And that's who we're going to put our hope in. That's who we put our trust in. That's who we put our faith in. Right. Keep reading.
Khan, one from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
Yeah, who is the brother of all brothers, man? Who set the standard for brotherhood, which is synonymous with sisterhood? Who is the example? Christ, man. Christ is that brother. Christ is the only brother that gets my vote. The only brother. And we don't look at Commander General YAHANNA as a king. He's just the leader of Israel, man. Rank is for order. The same spirit that Moses led us out of Egypt under the harsh bondage of Pharaoh. That's what Commander General YAHANNA is doing, man. Exact same spirit. And he bows, he kneels to Christ. He follows Christ's example. That's why we don't give a damn about following him. We follow him in the I.S.U.P.K. You're the one that's hung up on, y'all following a man. Yeah, very delusional. You following a man. You casting a vote for Mitch Colvin for House. You casting a vote for who? Barack Obama, not Barack Obama. What's my man's name? Sleepy Joe. Can't even damn near stand up without assistance. He definitely has dementia. You sit here and listen to these pundits try to advocate saying that he's got a clean bill of health. He's got a boardroom full of people in that West Wing that's making decisions for him. Yeah, he's sitting there drooling on himself, man. He's dealing with incontinence. That's what he's dealing with. But you're going to cast your vote for him. It's ridiculous, man. Drop that. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 19. The book of John, chapter 19, and verse 15.
It's the book of John, chapter 19, and verse 15. But they cried out, away with him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, Pilate saith unto them, shall I crucify your king?
Who is our king, man? And who the hell is saying crucify him? Who was saying that way back when? We know the story, the Sadducees and Pharisees. Our people were doing that, man. That's what you do when you tell us to get a job. We're on them street corners. You call us a hate group. That's what you're doing. You got the spirit of the Sadducees and Pharisees. Because what we're doing, we're promoting Christ. We want Christ to be in rulership, man, which he will be, which he is. I'm talking about on this earth, man. As long as you putting all your faith, all of your hope, all of your trust in this American system, you're going to lose. You're going to be on the bottom. We're going to continue to be getting destroyed and unalive, man, and deprived of just the bare essentials of living life. You can't go to your enemy and expect your enemy to do what's in your best interest for you or for your offspring, the generations to come, man. Keep reading.
Slack. Shall I crucify your king? The chief priest answered, we have no king but Caesar.
That's what you do. That you're in the spirit of putting your faith and your trust in Caesar. That's what you do when you go vote. We can no longer afford to put our trust in Caesar, man. All right? Save your vote for Christ, man. And with that, I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and Officer of 1,000, Kowalban YAHANNA, man, to read the security announcements. Oh, yeah, you good. You too well.
I.S.U.P.K security announcement. We at I.S.U.P.K start at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. New rule for brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. Right. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Find us in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in Hebrew. It's pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offer priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. All right, we got the Lord's Passover, the 55th annual Passover, the 14th day, first month. It's Saturday, April 20th, 2024. All right, it's in Durham, North Carolina. Go ahead and go to www.ISUPK.com, pay your Passover fee. You need help with room reservations. All right, contact your camp leader. Also, too, today's Monday, so everybody go ahead and log into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Like, share, hit the thumbs up button on Commander YAHANNA's America on Fire. America on Fire. All right. Also, too, all the talk shows, podcasts, videos, everything. Support the I.S.U.P.K. Let's help spread this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. If he wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf with that in mind. If Israel, we're going to render one curse to the teacher. If Israel, Manu Shabbat, money, Barak, Yahweh, Shimon, Shabbat, Yazmatah, Sar, Turf, and sisters. If Israel, we're going to render one curse to the sisters. If Israel, Manu Shabbat, money, Barak, Yahweh, Shimon, Yazmatah, Pastor Smith.